Let's start with the first one. Assess the importance of visitor attractions and the impacts of tourism. Well, under this learning objective, we're going to discuss about visitor attraction. What is a visitor attraction? What are the examples? Why is it very important? Next, types of attractions. When we say visitor attraction, are they just all man-made? Or when we say visitor attraction, are they all natural visitor attractions? And so on and so on. What are the types and why is it important for students like you to learn the different types of visitor attractions? Next, examples of attractions per category. So we're going to first to put them like in some sort of a table where we will identify the various types of attractions and put them in various categories. And then when we put them in a table and identify the examples, then I'm going to ask you if you have seen, you have been, or if you are aware of that type of visitor attraction in your local area in the Philippines or when you visited other places. Sorry. Next, attractions classified by length of stay. Well, can you still remember what it means when we use the word tourists, excursionists? Do you still remember the difference of these two? When we say excursionist, what does that mean? Tourist, what does that mean? Or vacationer, what does that mean? Can you still remember? Well, all of those three are all different types of visitors, but they were called like that because of their length of stay. So again, just a reminder or just a review, when you say excursionists, they are the people who travel to one place and they will have to stay there in less than 24 hours. In less than 24 hours. That is called excursionist. That is why if a friend of yours will invite you to go for an excursion, say for example, a friend of Hoverson will invite him to go to Subic in Zambales for an excursion, do not ask that person or that friend how many days you will be staying. Because the term excursion means you will be going home in the evening. Now, if a friend of yours will invite you, for example, a friend of Jelly will invite Jelly, let's go to Boracay for a tour. Don't expect that you will be going home the same day, because that means tourists are those who are staying in one place or one area for more than 24 hours onwards. And when your friend Gerald will invite you to go to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia for a vacation, that means you will be staying there for more than 4 nights. You will be staying there for more than 4 nights. So again, now why are we reviewing these three types of visitors? Because attractions are also classified by length of stay. There are some attractions that are visited for just 1 day. There are some attractions that are visited for probably an overnight stay or 2 days or 3 days, while some you can stay in an accommodation close to an attraction where you can stay for probably 5 days or even extended days. Now the fifth one would be resource or dependency of attractions. Why is it very important that we need to understand the resource and dependency of attractions? For example, natural attractions. Scuba diving, for example, last month we've talked about resorts operations, and scuba diving activities. We need to understand that this kind of activities or attractions are dependent to the health and condition of their marine environment. And so if there are no fishes and if there are no corals, do you honestly think divers will go there to dive? Of course no. Of course, no. They need to find another place to visit or another activity to do. So we need to understand the resource dependency of attractions. And lastly, ownership of attractions. Who owns this attraction? What does it mean if this visitor attraction is owned by the government while others are owned privately? What are the difference? Are there advantages? Are there disadvantages? Is it always true that if a visitor attraction is owned by a government, it's always for free? No, it's not always like that. If it's a privately owned visitor attraction, do you think that it's always expensive? Well, it depends. It depends on the services that they do. So these are the 6 items that we are going to discuss under this unit. Visitor attractions, the proper term, the difference of the terms to the other, types of attractions, examples of attractions per category, attractions classified by length of stays, resource dependency of attractions, ownership of attractions. Can you still remember last week we've talked about ski and ski resort, right? So definitely a ski resort is promoting an activity that is based on the snow and ice. What if there are no snow or there are no ice in that area? Do you think the tourists can still do the ski or other ice-related activities? No. That is just one example of resource dependency. But anyway, let's going to discuss it one by one, and let's see what we can learn from this. Now, okay. When you see, sorry, let me just fix this first. Okay, now let's start our travel. Can you see my screen? Okay. Now, visitor attractions. I'm going to click one of the boxes. It will show you the place and tell me what visitor attraction do you know or remember in these places. I think the first one would be the bonus because you've seen it already. Okay. But let's still be part of the activity. When you see this place that is in Paris, France, what kind of a visitor attraction comes to your mind? Oh, this is very difficult, Max. Okay, let's give the bonus to Jelly. Jelly, what do you know? What do you expect to see if you are visiting France, especially in Paris?
Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower. Oh, wow. The Eiffel Tower. Okay. Well, it's not only that you will see the Eiffel Tower, but this is as if what we call the icon, the must-see visitor attraction in Paris. As if you haven't been to Paris if you did not visit this Eiffel Tower. So it's safe to conclude that this is, in fact, the number one visitor attraction in that place, among others. Let's try next. When you visit our office or our school in London, what would you like to expect to see? What do you expect to see? Let's hear from Hoverson. When you graduate and you decide to get your diploma in London, what would you like to see there? What's the top of the list that you would like to see?
The LIBT school.
Yeah, of course, the office and the school. But other than that, the visitor attraction. Do you know one or
Uh,
two?
London, I think the palace, the where the queen stays.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And if you go, please say my regards to the Queen. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Gerald, do you know some visitor attraction in London? We can't hear you, sir.
Maybe sir, the bridge.
London Bridge. Wow, London Bridge. That is because in the
Yeah.
Philippines, if you are young, your parents will will sing to you the London Bridge song or even read to you the London Bridge. Yeah. Can you remember one iconic attraction whenever you watch James Bond? There's what they call what? The London Eye. Yeah. So the one in the left is what we call the London Eye, while the one on the right, to the right, is the Gerald's favorite bed songs, London Bridge is falling down. Yan. London Bridge. Yan, okay. We're doing fine. In fact, I'm counting the grades here. I'm counting the score, and let's compute later on. Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. All right. Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. What do you expect to see? What famous visitor attraction is there in Kuala Lumpur, sorry, in Malaysia? Do you know? You have to take a picture of yourself and your family with that building in your background. Put it in the fridge so all the visitors will see that you've been to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. That is what? The Petronas Tower. Yeah, the Petronas Tower or the Twin Tower of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. How about this? In Agra, in India. Are you familiar in this area of India? Agra? I think it was built in memory of his wife. You have any idea? That is the Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal, that is in Agra, India. You see, of course, in that area of India, there are other visitor attractions, but that is the main visitor attraction. That pulls the tourists as if you've never been to Agra if you haven't seen or visited Taj Mahal. How about in Siem Reap in Cambodia? Do you know? Oy, what's that famous Angelina Jolie movie? You remember? That's what? Angkor Wat. That's Angkor Wat. Okay. You have to ensure that after the pandemic, we have to visit Asia Pacific, Europe, and so that we are very. After your graduation with LIBT, let's visit all of these attractions. Oh, this is very, very difficult, especially for the three of you. When you hear Banawe, Philippines, what do you expect to see? Oh, I think you need one week to make that research. Just by the name, that is the beautiful Banawe rice terraces. So that's the icon. Of course, again, there are other attractions, but that is the main. And lastly, when you hear of Sydney, Australia, of course, you will the Sydney Opera. So these are just examples of visitor attractions worldwide. What did you notice? Look at the name of the place and look at the attraction. Usually, the attraction is connected to the place. When you meet somebody who is from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, you will right away make a reference with the Twin Tower. Or if they are from France, you will, oh, are you close by the Eiffel Tower? Or have you been there? Because they sometimes represent. In fact, when you buy souvenir items in these areas, the souvenir items, you will see either the photos or some merchandise with the artwork of this visitor attraction. They are the main visitor attraction